This morning, the Navajo Nation reporting one of its lowest COVID-19 daily cases to date. Just 7 new cases. The last time cases were that low was back in March when the virus first started spreading. This weekend, the Navajo Nation will have another 32-hour weekend lockdown. That's beginning Saturday night. All businesses will be closed. Fighting back against the coronavirus, the Navajo Nation finally gaining the upper hand on this pandemic with new cases on the decline. But as health officials get their cases down, the economy hasn't been as quick to recover. World famous Navajo landmarks like Monument Valley remain off limits to tourists right now. Shut down to help leaders here gain the upper hand on this pandemic after having the highest infection rate in the entire country.
We want everyone to be healthy. We don't want them to catch the virus.
Navajo Nation President Jonathan Nez says it wasn't an easy decision and knows it's creating more pain for his people. Pain he hopes is only temporary.
We had to do some stringent policies by locking down our borders, doing curfews. It has been a challenge for many of our Navajo citizens. They cannot provide for their families like they used to.
We are doing curbside only. We keep a lot of the customers in their vehicles.
This is the reality Lyndon Russell is living. He works at a Chinese restaurant in Window Rock. His take-home pay cut in half.
We shut down for like a month and a half, no income. Some of us had to do unemployment. And just wondering when's our next paycheck going to come in.
And as someone who's working in close contact with customers day in and day out, he knows there's a risk. Does that worry you working here, knowing that you could get sick and then bring it home to your mom?
Always, every day.
But Lyndon tells us he doesn't have a choice. He needs to work to support his family. That's got to be tough.
It is it's a sacrifice you make for your family.
And he wasn't the only one.
We've really been caught off guard. We've been so sheltered.
Nick Taylor manages this shopping center and 9 others here on the Navajo Nation. He says nearly a third of his tenants are struggling to pay the bills. Some may not even reopen.
It does really become overwhelming and very emotional when you think about it, because they're just people that have families and living their lives as best they can.
Families just like Nick's who have been directly impacted by this pandemic. His uncle losing his battle with the coronavirus.
There are those moments when you do kind of hit a low spot, but then you revert back to who you are as an individual, along with bringing in traditional custom teachings of being Navajo, Native American, and that really does reinvigorate the soul to continue to push forward and march on, carry on, and be there to support your people.
Now, Nick says his company is providing rent assistance to a number of businesses who've had to shut their doors. He's prepared to do this until at least the end of the year, but doesn't know what's going to happen after that. President Nez tells me that he's hoping to allocate some of the Navajo Nation's CARES Act funding to help rescue some of these businesses that have been the hardest hit by this pandemic. Now, tomorrow on ABC 15 Mornings, you're going to meet the Navajo doctor returning to her roots to try to save lives on the reservation. That's right here on ABC 15.